We're back. I know we said we'd take a little break, but I've just missed talking to you, Arielle.
I
And
know.
apparently we can't just like get on the phone like normal people and talk.
No, once you start down that podcast train, it's really hard to pump the brakes, it turns out. So we decided we would surprise you with a little mini episode. There is a lot of news this week, and much of it coming out of the weekend is just absolutely terrible. We're not even going to attempt to tackle it right now. We want to keep this short and sweet, and we'll continue to post news to our Instagram account. Make sure you're following us there with Debbie and Arielle. In the meantime, we thought we would meet up to share some fun things around the holidays and just check in.
Traditional etiquette says that politics, religion, and money should never be brought up in polite company. And we're here to discuss all three. I'm Debbie Hancock, a conservative and a Christian living in the Deep South.
I'm Arielle Gorin, a born and raised New Yorker and a liberal Jew. We're asking the hard questions and actually listening to what the other has to say.
Is Anybody Listening podcast starts now.
You said we keep it short and sweet, and I'll add we'll keep it light, something mindless to listen to while you're wrapping presents or driving around looking for ribbon to match your wrapping paper, which is somehow how I spend hours, days of my holiday. Like I'm just like so obsessed with things being matchy.
Like a really super tasteful way, because I saw the tablescapes that you did for the Christmas dinner that you hosted, and it was really beautiful. So
Thank you.
I really loved it.
Thank
Yes.
you. Well, in Elf, when he talks about how he has an affinity for elf culture, I think I have an affinity for Jewish culture because everywhere I go, I was at Home Goods the other day and it's bursting with Christmas stuff everywhere. It's like falling off tables. And then in the corner, there was this one table with the most beautiful decor, like blue and gold. And I was like, oh, yes, I found my tablescape stuff.
This is what I want.
Yes. And then I see the sign and it was the little Hanukkah table. And then like I was doing something else and I was like, oh, that's beautiful. I want that. And I'm like, dang it, it's Hanukkah. And then I did, by the way, buy the Hanukkah stuff. I was like, I don't care. Blue, gold. You can't just like hijack blue, anyone can use
absolutely
it, right?
not. I mean, also, I will say it is very heartwarming to me that your Home Goods has a Hanukkah corner. Like I wouldn't my Home Goods is obviously going to have a Hanukkah corner, but I'm that's really big time. I mean, we've talked about this a little bit. This is kind of like, I mean, it's not as light and sweet, but like it's funny to me. There's, and we'll talk about our sort of the way that we celebrate the holidays, but there's like a lot of variation, I think, among Jews who like embrace Christmas and who don't. And I think it has like a lot to do with sort of how you grew up. And there's sort of this like kind of joke that, a lot of people in New York just do Chinese food and a movie on Christmas. And like that's kind of become their tradition. And that's awesome. Like, but then there's some people like, we have a Christmas tree. We love having a tree. But it's funny, like some people, I think some Jews really recoil at Christmas in some ways, and it makes them kind of feel left out and othered. And I think that probably just has to do with kind of how they grew up and where they're from. And so I can understand that like that can really come from like a place of, childhood pain of like there's this really fun, beautiful thing that like we don't get to partake in and makes us feel different.
Yeah.
But, I think it's like, people want to share their traditions and they want to share what is like meaningful and beautiful to them. Like the whole season is really meaningful and beautiful. So I don't know. I think people sometimes take it a little too personally. Like someone like, is like happy holidays. And you're like, oh, like I celebrate Christmas. Or, Merry Christmas. And you're like, oh, why didn't you say happy holidays to me? And like everyone just needs to like take a deep breath and like just remember everyone's just trying to do their best and like just be kind to one another and gracious. And, you don't know we don't know what anyone celebrates. But if someone tells you Merry Christmas and you don't celebrate Christmas, like they're just trying to be nice.
Yeah, exactly. Our schools do a really great job. Last week, every day they focused on a different holiday celebrated around the world. And
I love that.
I was laughing at this. Like I was saying, I have an affinity for Jewish culture. Apparently, I didn't even realize it. And when my daughter came home, when they were learning about Hanukkah, she was like, Mom, they get these chocolate coins. And I just
Oh,
started
yeah.
dying laughing because don't listen to this with your children around because we're going to have some, spoilers of stuff.
Oh,
But I put gold coins in the girls' stockings and I say
I
it's
love
North
that.
Pole money. Well, apparently I've hijacked that too.
That's so
So,
funny.
but no, it's sweet that I think they do it so that kids don't feel left out and different, and the
Totally.
kids think it's so cool to learn about these different celebrations.
Yeah, I remember one of my kids came home from learning about Lunar New Year
Oh yeah.
and was like, Mommy, do we celebrate Lunar New Year? And I was like, well, it's not a part of our culture, but, and I could see him starting to get like really upset. And this was unusual for him. And he's like, so you can see like all the colors draining from his face. And he's like, and I was
Oh.
like, no, I mean, it's not part of our culture, but like we can find a way to celebrate it. We can go see a celebration or go to a parade in Chinatown or something. And he just starts melting down, like full on crying, like, but
Oh
I
my
want to
gosh.
celebrate Lunar New Year.
Aw.
And I was like, what? I was like, is it the red envelopes? Is it the money? Like, what is it?
The
Like, what,
money. Is it the
what,
money? Yes,
like,
I want to celebrate
what?
it too.
It was, it was just like such a funny, like cute moment. I was like, is it the fireworks? Is it like, what is it that we're feeling we're missing here? But yeah, it's really, I think it's a really lovely part of being a kid these days that there's just like so much awareness around these different holidays and multiculturalism and what people celebrate and like appreciating that and how to sort of celebrate alongside your friends in a fun and respectful way. So I think that's awesome. 2 thumbs up to that. And on
Yeah.
that note, I'm going to go back to my original question. What are some of your favorite holiday traditions?
Yes. So it's tricky because, I mean, growing up, we had like our Christmas Eve tradition. We'd go to our candlelight service and we would open a gift and we would watch movies and have this big spread. We always watched either It's a Wonderful Life or A Christmas Carol, which I was thinking about that this week and I was like, those are two really depressing, sad movies.
They're intense.
I
Yeah.
know, I know, as a small child. And fun fact, I've watched it every year. I have never seen all of It's a Wonderful Life. I have fallen asleep
Mhm.
every time I've watched it. And one time in high school, I was like, I'm going to watch it in the middle of the day. And somehow I fell asleep then. So I love it, but I have no idea what happens in the middle of it.
Yeah.
I would say, and then for the past 20 years, I've traveled for every holiday because I've lived
Mhm.
away from my family and my husband's family. And so I'll say the only constant and the most important thing to me is a Christmas Eve candlelight service because it's the one constant that I've done my whole life and I can do it wherever I am. And there's just something so magical about holding a candle and singing Silent Night with all the lights out. And we
Love that.
depart our building in complete silence and it's just so magical.
Forgive me, I'm
Yeah.
going to interrupt you there because funny story on that part. So I would say, like, as I was sort of alluding to before, I grew up with like a lot of Christmas in my household and a tree and
Mhm.
presents on Christmas Day, and obviously not like a religious celebration of Christmas, but my husband didn't, and he will sort of indulge me in my love of Christmas pop music, which like I do really go very hard on the moment Thanksgiving is over. It's like it's Mariah Carey, and
Okay,
it's like
what's your favorite Christmas song?
my favorite Christmas song, hands down, is Starlene Love, Christmas Baby, Please Come Home. Like,
Oh, good one.
it is like absolute favorite. And I think that's also part of why, All I Want for Christmas is so huge because it's sort of
Mhm.
in that mold of like
Yes.
that sort of Motowny, like 60s girl group pop.
Yes.
But so anyway, and like my husband loves pop music too. And like, but he'll just kind of like, oh, Christmas music again. But then what's so funny to me is that the songs, and he never knows the lyrics to anything, like
Mhm.
ever. It's just not how his brain works. But when he is singing along, without a doubt, it is like always the most like sort of solemn, intense,
Oh, Holy Night.
Jesus-y song. It's like on your knees, do you hear the angel call? And he's like singing along with his
Oh,
full
it's so
chest. And it's just
good.
like, I think it's so funny. I'm like, you hate Christmas, but like you are really into like some of the most like,
It's so good. The music's so
y-
good.
yeah, it really makes me laugh every time.
I think there's a reason why it's, like, continued through the ages, those more religious Christmas songs, because
Yeah.
I could listen to those all day, but if I hear a pop song on December 25th, I'm so tired of it, particularly
Done with
Last
it. Yeah.
Christmas, like, I never wanna
Oh,
hear
yeah.
that song again. It's the absolute worst.
Did you see that movie?
No? What movie was it?
There was a movie called Last Christmas, and I
Oh,
kind of made the
maybe
mistake
not.
of watching it a few years
Yeah.
ago. I think like Andrew was probably like in the hospital for 5 days on end while he was training, and I was like home alone. And watched the movie over the series of a couple
Yeah.
of nights, and oh boy, it's bad. It's just
Who's in it?
it's really one of those.
I'll
The
have to look it up.
guy from Crazy Rich Asians and the woman Amelia, what's her name from Game of Thrones, and it's just I don't want to ruin it for you because there's like a plot
I'm not
twist,
gonna
but
watch it
so
after this ringing endorsement.
let's just say they take the concept of Last Christmas I Gave You My Heart a little too
Oh,
literally, and it
no.
turns out
Yeah.
she's dead, and he was the or
No.
he's dead, and he's actually a ghost like
No.
haunting her, and they're falling in
Uh-uh.
love. She's a heart transplant recipient from his heart because he died, and it's like,
Okay.
which
That's
was again hit
horrible.
a little too close to home for
I'm
us, and
trying
I
to
was like,
look this up
no,
now.
really, like
Yeah.
this is the plot twist.
Yeah, no. My other favorite holiday tradition is, I love to lock myself in my room and
Mm-hmm.
wrap Christmas presents, and it's kinda like the only time my family leaves me alone because I'm doing
Yes.
something for them, and I'm normally not a cheesy Hallmark movie, but for some reason during the holidays, I love it. But I
Yeah.
tried to watch Champagne Problems on Netflix, and it started off really cute, and then nothing happened.
Nothing
And
happened.
it's like, at the end, they were trying to do this dramatic, like, you know, how it's always like, they fall in love, and then they have a falling out, and they come back together, but there was never really a falling out.
That's
So,
really funny.
anyway, that was my cheesy watch, but I love to lock myself in my room and do that. Okay, so I wanna say I did not have the education that my children had where we learned about all the different holidays. So I want you to explain exactly what Hanukkah is and also tell me, like, how do you celebrate it? And if
Oh
there's
yeah.
a difference between what is traditional and what your family does.
Yeah, I mean, I wish that one of my kids were here to they would do a better job with the actual story. But I mean, it is a similar variation on most Jewish holiday stories, which is like they tried to kill us, we survived, let's eat. Like that's like the joke that we always tell. But it's is an ancient story that centers around a siege and a group of Jews called the Maccabees who were protecting this temple. I'm probably going to get some of this wrong, but essentially it is the idea of Hanukkah is called the Festival of Lights, and it's about the miracle of Hanukkah, which was that, there was a siege around this city, and the Jews who were in this temple only had enough oil to light their menorah, to
Mhm.
light the lights for one night. And miraculously, the oil lasted for 8 nights.
Hmm.
And so that's why we celebrate Hanukkah for 8 nights. That's why we light candles for 8 nights. And actually, I learned from my child just yesterday that the idea of playing dreidel, I had no idea this is why you play dreidel, but you spin the dreidel and you play dreidel because at this time, I guess it was the Greeks, I think, because the Greeks were the Assyrians, but I think it was the Greeks, were essentially forcing the Jews to assimilate, right? And so
Mm.
it's kind of funny because like the way that they explain this to my kids in like Jewish preschool was that they were like, the King Antiochus said, you have to wear what I wear and you have to eat what I eat. And you have to, and then I
Mhm.
was like, oh, that's so interesting. Like that's how they're explaining the concept of assimilation to
Mm.
4-year-olds. That makes sense.
Mhm.
So basically like you can't practice your religion. You have to be as I am. And so they wouldn't let them, there were like prohibitions against studying Torah. And so the reason why we play dreidel is because they would study the Torah. And then when the Greeks would come around, they would basically like hide the Torah and spin the
Oh,
dreidel to distract and to be like, we're not doing anything here. We're just like placing bets on this like silly little game. We're
okay.
definitely not studying Torah. So it's sort of like a distract and deflect thing. And I just
Yeah.
learned that from my son last night. So anyway, so yeah, so Hanukkah it's a very joyous celebration. It's about miracles. It's not considered like a major holiday. It's considered kind of
Oh.
more of a minor joyous holiday. So the food, as with all Jewish holidays, is sort of symbolic and important. And because of the menorah and lighting the candles, it's traditional to eat foods that are fried in oil. So you may have heard of
Delicious.
latkes, which are potato pancakes, and they're very delicious. And you can, put some people like them savory with, like smoked salmon or sour cream or whatever. And some people like kind of like you
Mhm.
would, top off a bagel. And some people like them more sweet with applesauce. You can kind of do
Mm.
as you please. They're delicious either way. And then donuts, sufganiyot, which are fried donuts that are filled with something delicious. So those are traditional too. And then lots of different Jewish communities from around the world have their own traditions of different fried foods. And it's always fun to kind of see what different people from all around the world enjoy on Hanukkah. Yeah. And then dreidel is, as I said, the traditional game, the spinning of the top, and you kind of
Mhm.
play with gelt, with the chocolate coins that you mentioned. Yeah, so those are the winnings. So
Okay.
you put, depending on which side the spinning top, the dreidel falls on, it'll tell you that you have to like put a piece of gelt into the pot, or you get to take one, or you have to give up everything you have, or you get to take everything. And so people just kind of play. But yeah, it's a fun. I don't think that there's anything that kind of mandates gift giving, right? Like my understanding was always that gifts are kind of symbolic at Christmas because of the three wise men, right? Like bringing gifts to the baby
Mhm.
Jesus. Is that right? Did I make that
Yeah.
up? Like that's like where the gifting comes from, right?
Yeah, I was wondering, I always think of the Adam Sandler song.
Instead of one day of presents, we have 8 crazy nights.
Yeah, I always heard that and I was like, "Presents for 8 nights, sign me
For eight
up."
nights.
So do you do that? Do you do presents all 8 nights, or is there one night where you kinda do it all together?
So I'll stop and say I don't think that there's anything like in the story of Hanukkah that coincides with gift giving. I think it's probably more so that Jewish kids don't feel left out at Christmas.
Yeah.
Like that's like my understanding of it. And I think that it kind of depends on how your family celebrates. So we would always get when I was growing up, we would kind of get like 8 small presents, like
Uh-huh.
maybe more like stocking stuffers each
Okay.
night of Hanukkah, and then like the big things would be under the tree.
Oh,
But
okay,
of
so you
course,
do do Christmas presents on Christmas Day.
we would do Christmas presents on Christmas Day, yeah,
Gotcha.
but
I mean, you get it all in your
we get
house.
it all, I know. But in some families where like the Christmas is not at all a thing and not at all observed as like sort of like a cultural phenomenon,
Yeah.
I would imagine that yeah, there would just be all the gifting on Hanukkah. Actually, Alex Edelman does a really funny bit about how like, you know, his friends who weren't Jewish would be really jealous. They're like, "You get 8
Yeah.
nights of presents." And he's like, "No, no, 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 no. You're not understanding. It's like if your parents are giving you a bicycle, it's like one night you're getting a pedal and like the next day you're getting the handlebar." It's very funny and like I think very resonant with the
Yeah.
way that a lot of families do Hanukkah. But yeah, it's yeah, I've never seen since we talked about Christmas movies a little bit, I've never seen the Adam Sandler 8 Crazy Nights, but I will say I think a little bit of a chip on my shoulder for sure that we don't have an iconic Hanukkah movie. Like if
Yeah,
anyone who writes movies is listening, I think it's about time that we have an iconic Hanukkah movie. Like
for
I think that
sure.
needs to happen. Right. There should be a way to do that.
No, I'm trying to think of something right now, and I mean, you would know more than me, but yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. I don't think I ever realized how much is missing until this season when I've been looking for it, and but I've also, like you said, I've noticed that there is a big observance here. I do
Mhm.
think we have a pretty large Jewish community, especially in a neighboring town, so maybe that
Mhm.
explains
That's
why.
that's probably why, yeah.
Yeah. I'm always torn on the Christmas presents because growing up, we kept it pretty simple, and I was kinda bitter about that. I wanted
Mm.
bigger presents. And so, last year, we gave our kids, like, a good amount of presents, but then we have a lot of aunts and uncles and grandparents that
Mhm.
wanna send stuff, which is great, but then my kids are overwhelmed and have too much, and I kinda go back and forth between, it's not about the presents and getting it's, about Jesus' birth, but then I also believe that Jesus is generous and gives us good gifts, and
Yeah.
so I like
Yeah.
to, do that. So I've kinda gone back and forth. What are you getting your kids? Again, don't give any spoilers to our children. Don't
No
listen
spoilers,
around your
yeah.
children if you're a friend, but if you're a friend, let's be honest. It's our friends
You're
listening.
right. Yeah, especially this one.
Yeah.
So I struggle a little bit with it too, right? Because just generally like the commercialization and sort of like the materialism, it's tough. And then I also have 2 kids with winter birthdays, so it's like
Uh-huh.
the holiday season passes and then all of a sudden it's also their birthdays and like
Yes.
everything is crammed in sort of that
Yes.
like end of the year, beginning of the new year. And there's just like so much gifting from
Uh-huh.
from everyone going on. So that's definitely something we struggle with too. In terms of what they're getting this year, they are into this card game called Dungeon Mayhem, which is really
Mhm.
cute. And so they wanted an expansion pack for Dungeon Mayhem, which they got. My older child is still very into Lego. So there's just like a
Oh.
lot of Lego in his life. And he has very
Ooh, little
specific
pieces.
asks around that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like some like out of print, like out of like
of
Lego,
course.
like things that you would buy on eBay where he's like some
Yeah.
specific requests around that. Um,
It doesn't surprise me from your child.
Yes, yes, that's it's very I will tell you what I am not getting them, which was that there was a request for
Oh.
a new iPad and a
Oh,
request
yeah.
for a Nintendo Switch 2, and
Mhm.
like I think I'm fine with the ones we got. Like
Yeah.
I don't think, yeah, so that's not happening. But art supplies, those are happening. Like a new pair of sunglasses that are like kids sunglasses that are not crazy expensive, that's
Mhm.
happening. Some books. Oh, and then I had heard about these and then I found them at Costco when I was there once with my kids, which also, by the way, I think like, I mean, probably not during the holiday season unless it's like very early in the morning, but I think your version of like closing yourself in your room watching Christmas movies and wrapping presents, like the
Uh-huh.
me version of that is going to Costco by myself.
No.
Like I love going to Costco by myself. I'm like, ugh, my husband will be like, "Are you still at Costco?" I'm like, "Yep, I'm still at Costco."
Is your
It's
Costco
great.
full of, like, old people that are very angry and, like, very particular about how you stand in line, how you unload? Like, it stresses me
No,
out. Ours is, like, the direction you go down an aisle, I don't know. It's the
really.
regulars, and even though I go, like, pretty regularly, I haven't figured it out, and I just always feel like I'm in the way and, like, upsetting these
Oh,
people.
that would be deeply unsettling.
Yeah.
No, no, there's no, there's none of that. I'm like, I'm just cruising around. I'm trying the
Okay.
samples and like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I read about this thing and then I saw it at Costco. And I was like, oh yeah, we gotta buy these. And they're called fart ninjas. And you
No.
hide them. They're like little figurines that look like ninjas. And then you hide them behind a door and they're like motion censored.
Oh
So
my
they
goodness.
make fart noises. And I guess
Uh-uh.
like this is why I get along with two elementary age boys, is because like I think fart ninjas are hilarious. So they're getting fart ninjas.
I'm looking this up right now. Exploring the world of fart ninjas at Costco. Okay, wait, this is a question for you. Was fart a bad word in your house growing up?
No, 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 no,
Same.
no.
And
No, bodily
I
functions are just bodily functions. Like, that
but,
was
like, the
never
word fart, that was not
yeah.
okay, me neither, and I grew up in a very strict household, and then I get
Mhm.
married, and I say fart, and my husband looks at me like, "Don't say that word." And I was
Wait,
like,
really?
"What?" And so
Well, what does he
then I'm
expect you to
like,
say?
"No, this is just your family." So then we start texting all of our friends, like, from all over, different, conservative, liberal. It was a bad word in everyone's house.
What?
I know. Isn't this so weird?
That is weird. I
I
do think
know.
that's weird.
Okay.
Huh. Okay,
I
so
digress.
maybe this is why we get along so well, is because
Yeah, we
we're
were
just
allowed to
both
say the
fart
F word.
ninjas. We're the F word is fart, yeah.
This year has been funny for gifts because it has been such a 90s year. For my daughter's
Mhm.
birthday, she wanted a lava lamp and a
Oh, I
camcorder,
love
so I
that.
got her those. And then
That's so fun.
I also ordered this for her birthday. I ordered it in July for her birthday in October, and it did not
Oh,
come.
wait. I think I know what you're gonna say. What
Yes,
is it?
the tin can
Is it the
phone.
tin can phone?
Yes.
Yes! We
And
ordered the tin can also. Ours has not
I
arrived yet.
okay, when did you order it?
Probably like July or August?
Okay, it's coming. Mine came 2 days
Okay.
ago, and I have never been happier, nor have I been a prouder mom. Like, I just think about those movies where it's like there's the hot toy of the season and the parent has to do whatever it takes, to
Yes.
get it.
Do you
And it's
remember that? Yeah, like Tickle Me Elmo and like
yes,
all of that
yes.
stuff.
But what's funny is, like, our kids don't know that
They
it's
have no
coming. Like, they're
idea.
not asking for it, and
Right,
we're all gonna be
right.
like I told her, I said, "You are getting the gift of the season," and I am so proud because a lot of people didn't order it in time, but I just think it's
Yeah.
funny. It's like, it wasn't that long ago that we were all begging for cell phones, and now she does want a landline because
Mhm.
I've, like, talked it up, and all of her friends are getting it, so it'll be fun. They can all call each other. But
That's super
I'm really
fun.
proud of that. We also this has kinda helped keep things simple. We had told my daughter when she turned 6, like, when she's 6 years old, we would take her to Disney World. She
Okay.
turned 6 in September, and she keeps asking, and so we're gonna go in February, but we're kinda cheating, and we're using it as a Christmas gift, and I, like, made, like, a
Mhm.
countdown calendar, and I'm sure this is gonna be met with, like, mixed reaction of, like, "Yes!" but also, like, "We're not going for 62 days."
Well,
But, yeah, we
it's a good backwards counting exercise.
yeah, and just, like, looking forward to it. I'll show them pictures of the resort. But someone one recently introduced me to the concept of, like, something you want, something you need, something to wear, something to read. And
Mhm.
so I'm trying to do that, and there's, like, a couple extras for gifts, but I feel like we've really reached a new point with my 9-year-old where I realize that she's not really getting any toys. Like, she wants
Yeah.
robes and slippers, and it's fun, but I start to, like, panic the week before Christmas being like, "I didn't get enough," or, "They're gonna be disappointed that they don't have this," and this is where I have to, like, really show restraint and not buy a bunch of stupid little things because
Mhm.
I just start panicking. Are you asking for anything for Christmas?
Am I asking for anything? So I did ask for a pair of those shearling Birkenstock big buckle clogs because
Okay.
I love those,
Yeah.
and I do think that those are en route.
Oh, good.
So yeah, I like, planted a little seed on that one.
Yeah.
And then I did get so I exchanged gifts with my husband on the first night of Hanukkah, and he got me a phenomenal gift that I didn't
What?
even know that I needed or wanted, but it's called a home coat, and he was being served ads for this, I guess, all over Instagram. And you can look it up. It is a one size fits all, like double-sided sweatshirt material
Oh, I need
robe
this.
that can be worn inside or outside. I look like the Michelin Man in it. It is unreal.
You'll have to post a
Like un I will. It is unbelievable how unattractive it is, but I was like, "You know what, girls? Get yourself a husband who like supports your love of man repellent clothing."
Yes. Oh, I see
It
it
is
right
like
now.
so just like comfy and like unattractive. And then I felt better because when he showed me the site, I was like, even the like, rail thin models wearing it look like the Michelin Man. It's
Oh,
just like
yeah.
not it's not attractive, but it's so comfortable.
This is a
And he was like,
luxury
"Well, I
item
thought like
too.
I know you love robes. It's a luxury item." It's like, "I know you love robes." And I thought like it's kind of nice because like you can throw it on and if you're like taking the dog out or something, you can like kind of
Yeah.
just step outside in it. It's meant to be indoor outdoor. But I will say that when I put it on, I have trouble staying awake because it has the effect of a weighted blanket. And I'm like already like almost narcoleptic as it is. Like if the lights go out, like I kind of go out. So like
Uh-huh.
putting this robe on and it's heavy and I'm like, "Oh, I'm so sleepy now." But it's really, really it's really a luxurious lounge. I highly
I
recommend.
love that, a gift that
Yeah,
you
good
weren't
job, Andrew.
expecting. I thought I didn't need anything because, I mean, if it's reasonably priced, I just buy it, and if it's not,
Yeah,
then I'm not gonna ask for it for Christmas. But then,
totally.
like, over the past month when I had to make a list for family, it turns turns out there's a lot that I need and want. Yeah, so I will put in a plug, dads, if you're still listening. Get the mother of your children a spa gift card. I was picking up one for a
Mhm.
friend yesterday, and I thought, "Man, this would be so nice." Because I mean, I think it's fair to say that most mothers are the ones playing Santa and getting all of this
Totally.
stuff, so that might be a nice little surprise even if she's not asking for it.
So very true. That is never a gift that is, like, not appreciated.
For sure. There
Yeah.
are some people that don't like to be touched, so make sure they're not one of
No,
those.
that's true.
I'm
That's
not
true.
one of those. Okay, what's the worst gift you've ever received?
Ooh, worst gift I've ever received. Oh, man, I'd have to think some more on that one. Is there one that comes to mind for you?
Yes, yes, of course. You never
Really?
ask a question that you don't have an answer to.
Okay, good. Tell me.
Okay, so the individual that gave it will remain nameless, and she's probably not listening to this
Of
anyway.
course.
But Adam and I got married in 2013,
Mhm.
and that in January 2013. So like 11 months later, December 2013, we open a Christmas gift, and it is a glass ornament that says "Our First Christmas 2012." And I was like, um, we weren't married then. So I would say that is probably the worst gift that I've
Yeah,
ever
someone's
gotten because
not paying
it
close attention
was
there.
not applicable. I think
Yeah,
it was just like
that's really funny. They, like,
on
regifted it too or
sale.
something?
Yeah, I think it
Yeah.
was like a Costco clearance item maybe that December.
You're like,
I don't know.
"Wow, thanks."
Yeah, thanks. Not thoughtful.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
can't think of
that's
one?
I've probably gotten all kinds of bad gifts that I've just kind of forgotten about or, like, they've wound up in a pile somewhere or I've, like, found a way to get rid of them, but
Yeah.
I don't have, like, a good worst gift story.
Okay.
No, sadly,
That's
I
fine.
don't.
Okay, so what's
Sadly,
your
I don't.
favorite holiday movies? What are you watching? Clearly not a Hanukkah one.
I know, sadly. So, I mean, I love Home Alone. I really do.
Same.
I had
One
not
or
seen
2?
it when I mean, yeah, the New York stuff is cute and too,
Mhm.
but
That
one
one's my
is just
favorite.
so good. It's just every moment of it is so memorable and Like, we saw it as kids, and then, you don't watch a movie like that for the most part as, like, a young adult.
Yeah.
I hadn't seen it in years, and I remember the first time I showed it to my older kid and just seeing his reaction to it and how funny he thought
Mhm.
it was and the way that he connected to it. It's just you realize movies like that are just timeless, and I feel
Yes.
like they don't make family movies like that anymore. Probably seen 100 times. I'll probably see 100 more times. It's so good.
And you
I
view
just
it
really
so
love it.
differently at this age.
You
Like, who
do,
knew? The
yeah.
parents are pretty attractive, actually.
I know, and also blew my mind that Catherine O'Hara was, like, 37 when she made
I
that movie.
know.
It's like,
She
"Oh my
still looks
god."
so
I'm
good,
so
though.
yes, yes, but they, like, kinda, like I don't know, they sort of, like, dress her up in a way that really ages
Yes.
her, and it's just kind of
Yes, more
funny looking at it
mature.
now. You're like, "Oh, she was only 37, that's wild."
I
And
know.
she's so good, and John Candy is so good. Like, it just
Mm.
every moment, every scene in that movie is just perfect. It's just
Yeah,
so, 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 so good.
yeah.
And then, of course, like, I love and people have, differing opinions on this and strong opinions on this, but I also really love what is arguably the adult version of Home Alone, which is Die Hard. Like, I think that's totally a Christmas movie, but
I take a position on this, and I've never seen it, but I've always said,
yeah,
like, "No, it's not a Christmas movie," but Adam thinks it
it
is.
can't be a Christmas movie just because it takes place during Christmas.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, I guess
yeah.
so, but
Like
I
I
guess
said,
in
people
that
have strong opinions on that. I respect
yeah,
that.
someone I sent you that podcast, my favorite podcaster did a holiday movie recap, which I think would be so
Uh-huh.
funny, and whenever his co-host said that Preacher's Wife as a Christmas movie, I was like, "I would have never thought about that." I guess another
Oh,
movie
yeah.
that's not traditional, but it's a Christmas
Right.
movie is While You Were Sleeping. I love that
Yes.
movie.
True. Great movie. Yes.
So
Love
good.
While You Were Sleeping. Yep. I love While You Were Sleeping. And Elf too. I think
Elf
we
is so
mentioned
good.
Elf. Elf is so good.
I have to
Yeah.
watch White Christmas every year, and
Yeah.
my family really puts up with it. It's pretty long. My oldest likes it with me, but I tried to watch it last night with my 6-year-old, and she was not having it.
Yeah. I definitely, as a kid too, went through a big Christmas Story phase. That was kind of like a
Oh,
big
yeah,
one as
yeah.
a kid. A
I don't
classic.
love it, to
I
be
don't love it
honest.
as much either now, but as a
Yeah.
kid, I really liked it.
As
Yeah.
an adult, I really like Christmas Vacation because you just so
Hmm.
resonate with, like, the dad and the parents and the jelly of the month, you know?
Yep. Yep.
It's so good. Okay, so I don't know, we're recording this in the middle of Hanukkah, which I was not expecting you to wanna do this, but what is your season like? Like, are you super busy, or is it calmer, or is it more busy because 'cause you're doing 2 holidays? Like, are you stressed right now? What are you doing to
Yeah,
de
it's definitely been busy. Another thing to keep in mind about Hanukkah is, like all Jewish holidays, they kinda, like, sneak up on you and, like, take you by surprise because they move around from year to year. Yeah,
That's
so
fair.
the thing about Hanukkah is that some years it's as early as Thanksgiving. I think
Okay.
when was it? We were still in Philadelphia, so it was maybe 5 or 6 years ago. There was this weird calendar hiccup, and I remember everyone was talking about it because they were like, "Oh, this won't happen for another, like, 400 years or something."
Oh, wow.
That Hanukkah I think the first night of Hanukkah was actually on Thanksgiving. It was
Oh,
very
that's
early,
nice.
but it was kind of nice. So sometimes it happens early, and then, you kinda get Hanukkah out of the way, and then it's, kind of full on Christmas time and whatever.
That's a
Sometimes they
lot.
fully coincide, which is kind of nice.
Mhm.
Sometimes it's late. Last year it was late because I remember we were off skiing over New Year's and we were still lighting the candles
Oh,
then.
okay.
So it can really come anytime in that 6-week period from the end of November till the end of December.
Mhm.
So I think that kind of affects, how busy it is for a lot of people just based on everything else going on. Like, is school in? Is it out? Is it
Yeah.
Christmas? Is it not? So that kind of really,
Is
that
school
kind of affected.
off in New York for Hanukkah, or how does that work?
No.
Oh,
So
okay.
with it being a minor holiday, it's not off for public schools or for independent schools. I don't even think Jewish day schools have off for Hanukkah
Hmm.
because
Do they
it's
have off for
considered
Christmas or winter break?
that's a good they get a winter break for sure,
Yeah.
like the week between Christmas and New Year's, just because kind of the whole
Yeah.
world is sort of shut down then would be my guess, but I'm not
Yeah.
100% sure about that. But that would be my guess.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it's not like public schools in New York are off for Rosh Hashanah and for Yom Kippur and usually for like a day for Passover,
Mhm.
but not for Hanukkah. So yes, it kind of depends on when it falls as to like how busy it is. This year has been kind of nice because I've had this time of year had a lot of family coming to visit from out of town, just because I think a lot of people like to come to New York during the Christmas
Yeah,
season and do some shopping and check out
it's
the
the
windows
best.
and just do all the festive stuff. And so that's been kind of nice. So we've been doing quite a bit of like impromptu hosting. We've had some family members, some cousins come by, and we had a little dinner on Saturday, and we had some other family over for like brunch for bagels on Sunday, and then we're
Oh,
having
that's
our
cute.
Hanukkah party later this week. So we're looking forward to that. We'll have a bunch of people over, and I've been putting together little goodie bags, and my kids have been 3D printing dreidels to play with, which is
No.
kind of cool. They're like
Send
putting
me
that.
one. I want
Oh,
one.
I'd love to. Absolutely.
My kids would love it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go ahead and book our Christmas with you guys next year. It sounds
perfect.
like
Let's
you
do it.
book up quickly, so I'll go ahead
Yeah,
and
exactly. No,
schedule
you should
that.
definitely come by. We'll take them to the Rockettes, which I am doing
Yes.
this
Oh, that's what I
year
want to do the
with my
most.
kids. Yeah, we haven't gone in so long. I don't think my younger kid has ever been, and my oldest, like, not since he was 4 or 5. So I'm looking forward to that. I haven't been in a long time. We saw a really lovely production of A Christmas Carol too,
Oh, yeah?
which was sweet. I think the ghosts were a little scary for my younger kid.
Always.
It was a little bit intense, but
Yeah.
I remember being scared by it too in
Yeah. The
various,
George
you know.
C.
Yeah,
Scott one?
it was neat. But it was a great production, and they made it snow in the theater, which was
Oh,
so
that's awesome.
beautiful and magical, and that was really, really fun. So we had a good time with that too.
Yeah, my youngest is still really confused because in all the Christmas movies, it's snowing, and she's like, "So it's gonna snow on Christmas?" And I'm like,
And you're like, "Oh no,
"No.
honey, that doesn't happen here."
No, that does not happen." That's sweet.
Yep, yep. So yeah, well, I guess I didn't really answer the question of de-stressing and
Oh, yeah.
unwinding, but maybe it's Costco. I guess it's kind of going and like
Costco.
shopping by myself, doing things on my own
Yes.
time, kind of covering. Oh, and I will say it's the very kickoff of the holiday season, but I consider Thanksgiving to be like the kickoff of the holiday
Yes.
seasons. You too? I do too. It's kind of like,
I do.
yeah.
It You know, it's interesting because the way that, no surprise, like consumer Christmas culture is different than the Christian calendar.
Of
And
course.
so
Yeah.
I get a little irritated and exhausted by the consumerism starting in
Yes.
November. And growing up, I don't know if you're familiar with Advent, but Advent is the 4 weeks leading up to Christmas, and growing
The
up,
the the calendars, like the little like the
yes, the
calendars you have. Yeah.
calendars, yes, and so growing up, to me, Advent was always just the calendars, like, kind of like a countdown. We would
Mhm.
have a wreath at church, and every Sunday you light one of the 4 candles, and then the 4th candle is lit the Sunday before Christmas, and then there's a 5th candle sometimes in the middle, and that's Christmas Day.
Mhm.
But a few years ago, there was this article in the New York Times by an Anglican priest, Tish Warren Harrison, and
Mhm.
she wrote this piece. I'll link to it on our social media, but it was called "Want to Get into the Christmas Spirit? Face the Darkness." And in her
Mm.
piece, she explains that in Advent, we should be leaning into the darkness. So, kind of joining the Jewish people who were living under the brutal oppression of the Roman authority. And they
Mhm.
had been told 800 years before that a savior would come and rescue them
Mhm.
from the oppression. So, Advent is really supposed to be the 4 weeks leading up to Christmas is kind of like a dark, somber time, and she wrote in her
Mm.
piece, and I love this, that it's when we should lean into our deep, wordless desire for things to be made right and the
Mm.
incompleteness we find in the meantime. And I first read this during COVID, and I thought it was just perfect because so often we see the suffering during the holidays as kind of a disruption. But Advent is
Yeah.
actually a time to acknowledge pain and suffering as a reminder for why we needed Jesus to come to earth. And so, a long winded way to answer the question, what I love to do is I like to wake up before the rest of the house. And my favorite thing is to like have my cup of coffee and by the tree, that's all lit up and read a Advent book. Tish actually has a Advent book that I've read it 4 times now, but it's every year. I don't know if I just forget what I had read the year before or if new things pop up to me. But I also last year I was so burned out by Christmas. It
Yeah.
was a culmination of I just went too big. I was trying to make everything perfect and I wasn't working for the first time. And so I had more bandwidth to do stuff. And we
Yeah.
were hosting, and I was so burned out that I spent December 26th. Literally, all 3 meals were brought to me on the couch. Turns out I had mono too, so that explains
Oh,
it. But
no.
yeah, I read an entire book. It was so great, but I was determined that I was not going to do that this year. And so I've really tried to
Yeah.
keep things more simple. And it's meant like skipping some events and things that I want to go
Yeah.
to. But, sometimes it's just too much and then it becomes a chore. Like I said, because we're doing this
Agreed.
big gift Disney trip, I've been able to keep gifts a little bit more simple. And then this one's really hard for me. I love hosting, but I just have
Mhm.
to, like, especially Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. But I've just realized then those days become a day of work and chores. And
Yeah.
so I have refrained from planning any gatherings, which is hard for me to do. But that's kind of my de-stressor. And then I also, I mean, the other day I took 2 showers just to escape children. So,
Just have some time to
like,
yourself.
washed my hair twice. I was like, "Sorry, I'm busy."
That's so
So,
funny.
there's those coping mechanisms.
And then are you open Christmas presents on Christmas Eve, family, or Christmas Day? Or is there any flexibility, or is it like strictly Christmas morning? Like, how does it work in your house?
Yeah. So as far as like the presents that we give the kids, I am strict on Christmas Day because what's
Yeah.
so weird, the way Christmas is supposed to be is Advent for 4 weeks. And then the Christmas celebration is supposed to start on the 25th and go, I think, for like
Hmm.
12 days or 15
Right.
days.
Like the Epiphany. The
Yes,
Epiphany?
Epiphany.
The
Yes, that's
Epiphany.
it.
Yeah.
Look at
Right.
you. But that's not the case. Obviously, we celebrate it, starting the day after Thanksgiving. And I always found Christmas Day to be really anticlimactic because it's like you have all these things, and then usually Christmas Day, you're not going and doing stuff. So you like open your
Right.
presents and you're like, that's done. So I've always thought if you open it on Christmas Eve, what would you do on Christmas
What's
Day?
the point?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's kind of our veg day. Last year, we started a new tradition where Adam cooks Christmas dinner.
Oh, that's great.
I know. So, and then we'll go visit family after Christmas. So, we started
Nice.
every year has been different for the past 20 years of my life. I
Hmm.
grew up always spending Christmas with just our family on Christmas Day. And so last year I said, like, okay, it's time that we kind of start our own Christmas traditions and have some consistency for our girls. So, we spend Christmas Day in Birmingham and then we'll go see family afterwards and have Christmas round two where they'll get, all sugared up and more presents and all that. So,
Yeah, yeah.
it's
So
a lot.
we would celebrate on Christmas Day and usually host because my parents both grew up in Italy, and so
Yeah.
Christmas there is just like it's just a huge part of the culture. And I
Uh-huh.
think being Jewish there, you're just such a minority. And
Yeah.
my mother's family, my mom's family was Catholic, not particularly observant, but so they would, we love to kind of get people together on Christmas. And
Yeah.
over the years it kind of like snowballed. And, again, I think because of the sort of very like New York tradition of like Chinese food in a movie, so many
Uh-huh.
people were like, oh yeah, well, we don't have
Available.
any plans. Yeah, they were
Right.
just available. And then all of a sudden it was
Yeah.
like, can I bring my daughter? Like, can I
Yeah.
my cousin is town? And like it was funny because we would joke that like every year, it would just get bigger and bigger and bigger. I remember one year we were making a turkey or something. And then my mom was like, "Oh no, all these extra people are coming now. Everybody is bringing someone. I don't think this bird is big enough."
Mhm.
And so we went to Costco, my favorite place, and she's like,
Love
"I'm
that.
going to get this spiral ham. It looks delicious." I was like, "Mom, everyone who's coming is Jewish. Like, we eat pork, but like, what if they don't?" She's like, "If they're celebrating Christmas, they can eat a ham." I was like,
Exactly.
"Okay, all right." I was like, "I like what you're putting down. Yeah, let's
That's
do it."
funny. Yeah, we always
Yeah.
did ham growing up. We've leveled up a little bit. I love a beef tenderloin,
Oh
but my
yeah,
kids do
that's
not.
delish.
So we make this like beautiful meal and I have this video of my kids 2 years ago literally bawling and crying.
Oh no,
So, I know. So we basically make 2 meals on
bawling
Christmas.
and crying because you're like force feeding them
Yes.
filet.
Yes.
You're like,
I
"What's
know.
wrong with you?"
It's so upsetting. Okay, well, this is truly our last episode of 2026.
Yeah.
We're taking a break to focus on family, but also we want to give folks a chance to catch up. And you might think, why would I want to listen to old episodes? But if you haven't already listened, I'm going to give you like a little episode guide. If you haven't already listened to the episode on the shutdown showdown, I recommend it
Hmm.
because we talk a lot about the Obamacare subsidies that are set to expire in a
Still
couple weeks.
relevant.
It's still
Yep.
relevant. Congress is expected to vote on a package this week, so very relevant. You can't watch the news without hearing about affordability being a top issue heading into the election year. So I would recommend you listen to the election night recap if you haven't already done so. That'll give you some good information. And then there's also a lot of stories which we've been sharing on our social media about Trump's trade policies. And so that last
Yeah.
episode is a good one to catch up on. And then if you're new or you haven't listened yet to episode 1, that's where we share who we are, how we met, and really what the show is all about.
Yeah. And if we're not already friends on social media, take
Yes.
a second to check us out on Instagram. We'll be expanding our presence there and elsewhere, but we're sharing just the facts, news pretty much
Yes.
every day. It's a great way to stay up to date on top stories. It's curated by us both, and we're really working hard to bring you things that we think are impactful and that matter through as neutral a lens as possible, because we know that's
Yes.
really important to people.
Yeah. Also,
Yeah.
we're going to be doing a giveaway soon. So join us on Instagram because you don't want to miss that.
Absolutely.
This
And
is brand new information.
brand new information.
She's like,
I
what?
was
We
like,
are?
we're doing a giveaway?
Yeah,
Great,
we
we're
haven't
doing a
talked
giveaway.
about it, but we're going to do a giveaway.
We are. And as always, we love to hear your suggestions about topics you want us to tackle, questions you might have, suggestions. It's all fair game. You can give us your most critical feedback. We can take it. Just, just be kind,
Yeah.
but be critical. And you can drop us a line. It is anybodylisteningshow@gmail.com.
All right. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Happy Hanukkah.
And Happy New Year.
Bye.